Hello, I'm Carolyn.
And I'm Mercedes.
And I am Peggy. Together, we are
Destiny's Elements. We are your hosts of a new reality show experience called
Dialogue
Unleashed with a Difference.
We're going to be showcasing an up-close and personal, passionate, opinionated, informative, and even sometimes heated analysis of relevant and contemporary topics and events.
Such as movies, TV shows, best-selling books, current fashion trends, the latest YouTube happenings, and headlines making the news.
So are you saying is it that of the Caucasian being colorblind, or is it that of the Black African American being colorblind? Because
both.
we do.
I say both. I say both are colorblind. I agree with you, Peggy. And I agree with you, Marilyn. Okay, why shouldn't some African-American attorneys like Johnny Cochran, well, he's gone.
Yes.
Okay, well, we need another Johnny Cochran to step forward. Okay, and do a pro bono case. Okay?
Is there any case out there that pending that we could use as a leadway into this? Is there a case? Is there anyone here can give us an indication of a case that they know of that we could...
Right, in which they could have actually used in Casey's Anthony trial. So once they actually came up with evidence, and then they could have stepped forward to say, well, according to the case versus such and such, and it be that of a Black African American, you went through to actually incarcerate or execute that person. But here we have the same type of evidence found, sealed, and delivered here in the courtroom today.
Lisa,
but
there
you
are so
dismissing
many cases out there.
But I mean,
that
at
will
that point
support
in time, to actually have them pinpointed to their guilt, to where they are guilty at, you must put it there before they face at that point in time. Because if not, you walk away from it, then it's therefore it doesn't exist, and it's difficult for you to administer it back to them, for you to bring it back. So now we're having this conversation, and the lady is set free at this point in time. You're not going to get her charged by us having this conversation.
Due process
you are not.
has
All right.
been done.
All right. So that's what I'm talking about. So you're not going to get her charged.
Well, the evidence that was brought forward on her, there was no fingerprints. Okay, there was no evidence. There was nothing linking her. There was no DNA linking her to any of the thing. It was only guilty by association, not because you're guilty. You have to have proof.
There was
American justice
yes, circumstantial.
But Peggy, what I'm saying is, in the American justice system, there have been so many cases where there wasn't proof. Look at what happened to this case in Georgia, like you said before, Mercedes.
Yes.
Okay, 7 of those jurors recanted.
Okay.
Yeah, but
they were coerced. They recanted.
With the evidence like that in the Casey Anthony trial, to where they dismissed everything against her, then at that point in time, guess who case should have been mentioned? Troy Davis.
Exactly.
Right.
But
And it was not
it was
mentioned
not,
at that
because
point in
there was
time.
no-
Right.
there
They
was
took
no
and they
DNA.
mentioned it after the fact, and now he's executed.
Yeah, but there was no
after.
DNA. There was outcry from all over the world.
All over the community.
But there was no...
Not just the
There's no
U.S.,
DNA.
all over the world.
Yes,
But they
there's
never
no
stood there and
DNA.
talked.
There
was no DNA.
My question is,
But the difference
is it, how long was it before she decided to call the cops to say, okay, my child is missing?
31 days.
31 days.
Who does that?
It was 31 days.
You got it wrong. She did not call.
She didn't call. Now my baby, if my son is missing, the moment he is missing, I'm in my neighborhood knocking on doors. Did you see my baby? Matter of fact, let me go in your basement and see what's going on.
So, but listen to
Who does
that.
that?
Here it is, a grandchild. And do you take it that a grandparent really would go 31 days without asking, where is my grandchild?
Well,
Where's my baby that of himself?
She was a little crazy.
Right.
She lied so much to them. She was lying the whole time. She was
told
punishing
the
her mother because they have a conflict, and she was stealing. The father gave her the riot act. She did not want to discuss it any further. So she figured, okay, let's lie. No, she blamed some innocent woman who had nothing to do with
babysitter.
And the babysitter now is suing her because it's a real person, a real name, but they go back to it again. It was a black woman, well, Hispanic woman that she blamed. It's everything is always about the black person. Is the black person did this, the Hispanic person did this. But as I said, she was punishing her mother, and her mother was the one that called the cops. Now, the state of Florida want their money back.
I mean, at this point in time, I'm a grandparent, and I do not go several days before I ask for that of my grandchild.
Exactly.
Okay, at least ask it, and then to actually find out.
had to go with evidence.
evidence.
Right.
And they didn't have any.
Yes.
So that's why they had to
But
acquit
you know
her.
what, Marilyn,
They
that's
had
where
no
I
evidence.
totally fought the American system. And that's why Americans are so outraged behind this case, because we know that the jury should never have found that girl innocent.
Where is your evidence?
We don't have to have evidence.
Guilty by association?
It's not about association. The fact that
she put her character on. They put her character on trial. Just because
you only call a jury when you do have due evidence, right? So a jury wasn't to be called none because you never had the evidence.
Exactly.
evidence, there was no evidence, and that was part of the problem. They put her character on trial. They didn't put the forensics or the DNA or the tape or whatever. They put her partying ways, her this, what kind of mother is she? Well, that's not enough to convince somebody that she needs to go to jail for the rest of her life.
It would be enough if that wasn't African American. It would be enough if it was Hispanic. It would be enough if it was Native American or a poor American, okay? It would be plenty enough.
Partying ways. Partying ways.
I think so.
I'm not so sure about
A
that one.
different type of
Partying
intelligence just developed. Insight to that. I don't really take it that it's color bearing that they actually do it from. I really take it as how you present it for your own well-being. Okay, you really want to get off of what it is that you have done. So let me see. So it's from the way that you actually present it, from that of your lawyer, from the way they may have arrested you, to that of the judge. Listen, to that of the judge. So it's not that it's unfair. It's the way that the defendant himself is presenting it to make sure that I am not convicted, even though I may have done it. I do not want to go down. I still do not want to go to jail for what it is I have done. So the way I will present it to my lawyer, the way I may present it to the cops, the way I may present it to my mother, my father, my sister, brother, so forth and so on. I do not want to go to jail regardless. So if I can present it in a way to it, and it prevents me, okay, from being arrested or executed, so forth and so on, even probation, then so be it. And if you cannot detect that to where you apprehend me, get me incarcerated or executed, then that's your problem. That's your fault.
And
Cannot prove.
There was no burden of proof.
It's just the way that the defendant himself is presenting.
And yeah, we have to keep in mind that the jurors are always charged by the judge that it must be your reasonable doubt. If there's any reasonable doubt,
because they're going to hold that
beyond
within
a reasonable
themselves.
doubt,
Right.
then they can.
Because the judges, they have a statute
But
within
you know
their
what's
self,
amazing?
a certain standard within their self, to how they
And
must judge
I
you.
agree with you. There are many cases, and I can't think of a specific one right now, but there are just so many cases where you can see that there is a reasonable doubt, and those people are still incarcerated. Those people are still found
And they're
guilty.
incarcerated because they do not have the financial wherewithal. They do not have the resources. They do not have the contacts. And they're incarcerated. 1.4 million black men now are not able to vote
She didn't
because
have the resources. She didn't have the resources. I think that her attorney, I mean, the fact that, he took the case pro bono or whatever, because some people did say that she did come up with $500,000 or some other monies to give the attorney for some other things, some other pictures or things like that she had taken in the past. So she used those monies to pay her attorney. But the point is, her defense team were brilliant in talking to the jurors and letting them know, now listen, any reasonable doubt whatsoever in your mind, you have to acquit. So I mean, that's the main thing there. Now, like some of the other ladies were saying, a normal mother is not gonna go a
31
day.
days.
No, they're not gonna even
And
go a
this stretched out
day.
31 days.
But remember, that was grandma, not a normal mom. Grandma, she had a problem with her mother.
Right.
So she was keeping the child away from her mother. And that's the reason. But since we gotten off the topic, I just need to change it and ask a simple question. They're saying that she was drowned. She used to go out and party. She chloroformed the baby. What happened? I mean, that was never discussed. The chloroform and the partying ways and what happened. In my opinion, That's just my opinion, that she chloroformed is a continuous thing she used to do by chloroforming the babies when she go out. She came back home and the child died. She maybe gave her too much. And my thinking, she covered it up by drowning her. So when they find her, you know, she was drowned. You know, drowning is a different situation. And then
it's not unusual. It's not unusual at all for especially young mothers who want to go out and party. They will sedate their babies.
Stay tuned. Coming to a city near you.